Spokesman Buhari campaign organization, the Festus Kenyamo, joins us now from Abuja. Good morning and thanks for joining us on TVC News.
Thank you for inviting me.
From change to next level, why should Nigeria buy into the next level in the face of despondency at this time?
Well, for those who know the level to which the Buhari administration has brought certain poor Nigerians from absolute zero to some level, then you should know that it is not empty promise when you say you move them to the next level. For instance, about 2.3 million Nigerians are now benefiting from small-time, loans, without collaterals or without interest. And these are the trader money, the market money, the farmer money, and all of that. 2.3 million Nigerians will then increase to 10 million Nigerians. That is the next level in respect of that. N-Power scheme has 500,000 graduates that they are training in small skills, and they're giving 30,000 naira per month to acquire skills that will make them self-reliant. The 500,000 graduates, 1 million will be added to that. That will be the next level for that. The school feeding program that has about 9.3 million children now who are eating one nutritious meal per day, that is making our schools swell back. The students are going back to school now. Those who were not going back to school before. The 9.3 million will now move out to 15 million. That will be the next level. In terms of infrastructural development, the next level will be that after moving power from 4,000 megawatts to 7,000 megawatts, when the Mambila Power Project comes on stream, the next 4 years, and 3,050 megawatts are added to the 7,000 megawatts, the next level for power will be about 11 to 12,000 megawatts for power. Now, you know too that in terms of power, there are some markets, clusters of markets across the country that are enjoying, uninterrupted power supply, solar power supply, so that the small and medium-scale entrepreneurs, even the macro-scale entrepreneurs can, do their trade without power, without power interruption from 8 to 5 in the evening in all of these markets, like Ariaria market, Sabungari market in the north and all of that. There will be more markets added to this, plan on giving them uninterrupted power supply. That is the next level regarding the clusters of market that
Let me just follow up with your submission.
So you can see, I can go on and on. The achievements are so much.
Apparently, yes. You can. In less than 24 hours after you launched the Next Level campaign for Mr. President, the opposition is already talking. They have called the Next Level campaign vague in policy and big on promises, saying that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari has failed to achieve its key promises that it made in 2015. And they made some very huge allegations here. First is that the Buhari administration promised to create about 3 million jobs annually. According to them, 11 million Nigerians have lost their jobs in the past 3.5 years. They mentioned the issue of devaluation of Naira. Particularly, here is the fact that Nigeria has moved 12 steps backwards on the Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index. How do you react to this?
So you take them one by one. Let's talk about the Corruption Perception Index. When the executive director, also the head of Transparency International, came to Nigeria in May this year, everybody, I always tell people to Google it and see what the woman said when they asked her about the drop in the perception index. She said, one, she gave two reasons. One, it does not mean that you are dropping. You are getting less and less, determined to fight corruption. He said it means that other countries around you may be moving up. It does not mean that you are dropping, actually. Some other countries may have made more progress than you. That's one. The second one she said is that it does not reflect exactly what is happening this year. She said, for example, all the efforts we are making to fight corruption may not reflect until 2-3 years from now, a few years from now. In other words, that perception index we got in 2018 is not exactly what transpired in 2018. It's an accumulation of what has transpired in previous years, including especially their own years that were filled with corruption. So you can, the question, especially the question and answer section of that, woman who is the, head of Transparency International that came to Nigeria. So that is the answer she gave. It does not mean that the efforts we are making now to fight corruption will be reflected this year. She said no, it will be reflected in a few years' time, because it takes time to, recalculate it and, bring you within, your right ranking. In any case, let me tell you that is also what they call just perception index. Does not reflect the reality on the ground in some cases. Now, what reflects the reality on the ground are the testimonies of other anti-corruption bodies and leaders around the world who have seen the efforts of the Buhari administration and has actually praised the efforts. They have praised the efforts of the Buhari administration. I'm sure you heard what these world leaders have said about the president, even the American president, who said this is one of the, we are confident that Buhari is fighting corruption headlong in Nigeria. And Buhari was made the anti-corruption champion of Africa. Other, world leaders have praised the efforts of the Buhari administration in confronting corruption. So, I mean, there is no question about it. In fact, nobody would argue that we have not we've not made significant progress really in terms of fighting corruption since Buhari took over in 2015. In fact, it is only in this country, for instance, that you hear that somebody abandoned a 37 billion naira worth of property in Banana Island and fled. The federal government has seized that property because nobody came forward to claim it. It can only happen in Nigeria. And it can only have happened under the past administration that kind of money was stolen. You heard last week too that 57 billion naira was confiscated by the court because nobody, no BVN, nobody claimed those monies in various accounts in banks. And last week, the court made an order confiscating those funds. It can only happen in Nigeria, and it could only have happened.
Let me ask you this very quickly
that were stolen.
About the tone of this campaign. There's a lot of noise and excitement about the commencement of campaign already, but there's also anxiety and fear given the precedents of previous elections. Instead of canvassing votes, using thoughtful programs, addressing critical issues, we have seen in these countries where parties whip up sentiment, even to the point of making unproven allegations against opponents. What is your party, the All Progressives Congress, going to do differently to set the tone right this time and make it an issue-based campaign?
Well, you can see that we released our 2 documents yesterday showing achievements. We also released the next level document, telling Nigerians where we are going to. But let me also address this issue that the opposition at times, they want to deceive Nigerians by saying that we should address issue-based campaign and we should not address the issue of character. For Christ's sake, character is an issue. Character is an issue in this campaign. So they should not deceive us that character is not an issue. They are running away from character because they think that there are deficits in that regard. For instance, everybody should ask the main opposition candidate, why does he not have anti-corruption as one of his main cardinal targets? Why? In Africa, that the big elephant in the room is corruption. You want to create jobs without fighting corruption? You want to tackle the economy without fighting corruption? What do you want to do without fighting corruption? Every segment of our society has been eaten up by corruption. And you don't have corruption as one of your cardinal goals. The Nigerians should ask him, why are you running away from anti-corruption as your goal? It's very simple. He cannot mouth it. He knows he cannot mouth it. And character is an issue. I am sorry. Run your campaign the way you want to run your campaign. We will run it the way we want to run it. We say character is an issue. Senior
Advocate of Nigerian spokesman, Buhari Campaign Organization, Festus Kenyamo, thank you for sharing your thoughts this morning. I wish you a hate speech-free, peaceful and successful campaign.
Thank you.